Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about bans in The Division 2. Yes, I am milking this topic for everything that it has, but to be honest, I didn't actually intend on making another video on bans, but I saw this comment on my recent ban video that really got me questioning everything that I believed about bans, and I think I want to get your take in the comments of this video. Some of you might end up actually changing your mind here, and we also have a response from Massive to this as well. This is a bit of a mind boggler, so strap yourselves in, drop a like, subscribe to stay up to date with all my content. Let's get into this. Alright, so let's start off with the comment that I got. It was from an account thumbsfingers3450, so thank you very much for the comment. They said this in response to my video applauding Massive for the recent bans with the XP bug. So thumbsfingers3450 had this to say: so the double companion Henry situation, awarding unreal weapon damage, destroying PvP in the DZ, ruining players' experience, a broken in-game mechanic, is that bannable for anyone running it? A broken mechanic that impacts PvP more than PvE? Double standard. Now, if you subscribed, you may have noticed I put this question to the poll here on YouTube. You will need to be subscribed in order to see my community posts, so highly recommend you do that. The question was, should the double companion damage bug be a bannable offence? And the overwhelming majority said no, as you can see, at 84%. This is exactly what I expected, but I do think that Thumbsfingers makes a very good point. And when I first read their comment, I actually didn't know what to say, in all honesty, because what this highlights to me is a really grey area when it comes to what is considered bannable. Now, before I continue, for anyone who is unaware, there is a bug or unintended behaviour, whatever you really want to call it, where you're able to get unintended amount of damage from the companion talent. Now, to do this, you equip both the perfect companion chest talent and the companion talent on your backpack. Now this causes a bug where one companion stack remains active the whole time. So when you do use a skill, both the companion talents from the chest and the backpack stack on top of this already active companion talent, giving you 3 stacks of companion instead of 2. So that's kind of how it works, and that's quite a huge difference in damage, and it's absolutely unintended. Now, before I tell you kind of where I'm at with this and go a bit more into this one, let me share with you what the devs have said about this. Morten Ryberg responded to my poll, so thank you very much for Morten for doing that. I didn't expect Morten to even go on my poll, but that's great. He had this to say: using both talents has unintended behaviour and this will be fixed, but it's not subject for a ban. So there you go. You won't be banned for using the double companion bug, and rightfully so. Fully behind Massive with this one, but I'm not totally sure why I support this, if I'm being completely honest. I just feel like it's the right thing to do. Is there a difference between using a bug to gain more XP than intended and using a bug to gain more damage than intended? Like, what constitutes an exploit and thus bannable? I'm just playing devil advocates here because I think this is a perfectly valid question to be raised, and as I've already stressed in this video, and I stressed on the poll, this is not what I think. I don't think players should be banned for companion, but I think it's a very good question. Now, what I will say is I think the biggest difference between the XP bug and this companion bug is this: anyone who is doing the XP bug knows exactly what they are doing. Of course, someone had to find it first, whether that was intentional or not. But repeatedly kind of doing these XP bugs, they're very intentional. There's a lot of intentional behaviour behind making that successful. The companion bug, however, could easily be used by players without knowing they are outputting more damage than intended. Of course, there are players who are definitely using it intentionally, but there really isn't a way for Massive to know that for sure, because, you know, you're just equipping 2 backpack talents. It's not unusual behaviour. Inviting people into Descent level 30, having them die to gain a ton of XP, and then repeating the process, That's very intentional. If you've got one player who's shade level 100 and in a day he's shade level 10,000, that's very intentional. They've intentionally done that because that shouldn't be possible in the game. And I think that's the biggest difference between the two, is almost the intentionality behind it all, and what you're actually doing in order to achieve that use of that bug. So if Massive or kind of any developer started banning players for, you know, the companion bug, there would basically be no players. Because, you know, most games, in fact pretty much all games, have these, you know, minor bugs, you know, damage bugs and all that sort of stuff. So you would lose pretty much 95% of your entire player base. But, you know, this question raised, it does highlight a grey area, and it could be why developers like Bungie, for example, don't ban players unless they use kind of third-party software. You know, any bugs, any exploits in the game used by players will not be faced with bans. Should this be the way Massive deal with exploits in the Division 2 or bugs in Division 2? I know many people would say yes. Many people who don't play the Division 2 would say yes, as I've covered with Astrocross recently in his video about bans, and I also talked about Glad and a couple of other content creators who are absolutely against Massive for the bans recently. Now, I've always believed that there is a scale and also intentionality behind it all. Intentional exploits, I think they should be bannable. But if Massive didn't ban players, then this grey area would no longer exist, and this video could be deleted. So, yeah, there it is. There wouldn't be all of this conversation about it. Now, my stance has not changed. I think the most recent bans of the XP exploit were absolutely justified. People knew exactly what they were doing. They were intentionally exploiting the bugs, especially as well because Massive issued a warning to players weeks before the bans went live to stop doing these XP bugs because they said it was bannable, and people still went and did it. But, you know, this comment from Thumbs Fingers, that name I still can't get over, Thumbs Fingers, you know, it really had me thinking. And I bet for some of you, you've probably changed your mind about bans, or you're certainly in the position I'm in where you're kind of like, okay, I get it. I understand why people say that you shouldn't be banned for this sort of stuff in game, because it does remove that grey area. It's very clear then. You can use anything in game that you like to gain an advantage. You won't be banned. It's only when you use third-party software that you might be banned or will be banned. There's no grey area in that, but obviously what Massive have done here does create a grey area, even if I agree with it. Now, thanks for watching today's video, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Thanks to Thumbs Fingers for the comment and the content. I'm really excited to see what you guys have to say on this. Now, I've obviously had comments on the Twitter poll, but it's a much smaller sample size compared to what I'm hoping we get from this video. So I'm just kind of, I still think, like I said, that, you know, 85-90% of people are going to be absolutely against bannable, people being banned for this companion. In fact, I thought 85% was actually on the low end. I thought it would be more like 95%. I don't think it would be anywhere that low at all. So it's a little bit of a surprise to me that 15% of people think that the companion talent bug is bannable. And I would hate for those people to have the power to start banning people for that, because most games would die instantly. For example, Destiny would have died ages ago because the amount of bugs that are on weapons and gear in that game is crazy. I mean, stuff's being removed all of the time. Fortnite, for example, used to, I haven't played Fortnite for a long time, but they used to be removing weapons and stuff all the time because of bugs. So, you know, the whole scene would just be gone if those people were in charge. So thankfully they're not, but it's a grey area. Thanks for Morton for clarifying Massive's position. I think that was important. Until the next one, Epic out.